So today the focus of our webinar is on 5 ideas for community-specific content. So some of you we know have got quarterly or monthly themes, and you've got fun-filled activities and even culminating events, or maybe you even have a special one-time event to celebrate something in your community. So today we're going to talk a little bit about those different things and how you can build excitement for those fun events, those themed activities or special events in your community by using all that Community Share has to offer. So here are the top 5 ideas to get creative with Community Share. The first one is to have fun with announcement slides. We're going to talk about 2 different options that maybe you haven't considered before about how to creatively use your announcement slides. Then we're going to be talking about how you can incorporate music to promote your event. We'll also talk about using our videos to take residents on a virtual field trip. We'll learn how to upload theme-related pictures in a couple of different ways. And then finally, we're going to talk about some of our on-demand options, most specifically playing a podcast related to your theme or a game. So first, let's begin with having fun with our announcement slides. Announcement slides don't have to be used just to convey important information on your campus. So now you may be using them to highlight a service or an event that you're having, or to get an announcement out, whether it's construction or surveys being due or something like that to family members. You can get creative with these and have a little more fun with experimenting with some different ways to use them. So idea number 1 is to share a fun fact about your theme or your event. If you are going to be having an end of summer pool party or an outdoor party, maybe you want to consider doing some did you know facts leading up to that event. So you can see an example there. Include a fun fact like the first swimming goggles were made in the 14th century in Persia using tortoise shells. Who knew? Rubber goggles were actually not created until the 1930s. So think of some of those ways that you can incorporate fun facts or did you know things to promote excitement and to get your residents a little bit more curious about your upcoming event. And they'll enjoy seeing those things pop up on the screen, and they'll look forward to your daily announcements to see what fun fact is going to be shared next. The second idea is to create a special invitation. So use those announcement slides to provide the details about an upcoming event. The nice thing about doing something like this is that not only will your residents and families see this on your Community Share slideshow, but they can also view your announcement slides on the LifeShare Family mobile app. So if you are having a special event, this is a great place for you to highlight all of the fun details, to invite family members to attend, just a nice way to advertise that event and get them excited. The next way that you can get creative with your Community Share is to set the mood with music. We all know how impactful music can be and how it can really set the tone for how a person's feeling. So it's a great tool to be able to use to get your residents in the mood for a great time. So for example, if you were going to have a pool party, you might want to go in and you might want to change your music playlists to something with maybe a Latin or a salsa beat to celebrate your pool party. If you were going to have a jazz fest and maybe you were going to have an evening event, perhaps you'd like to change that playlist to a happy hour where they're going to be playing some vocal oldies and some jazz tunes. So you can do this in a couple of different ways. You can edit your existing playlists to change up your music and to promote that excitement leading up to the event. Or you can select an alternate music program by accessing our on-demand features at the time of the event. So we will talk a little bit later about how to access those on-demand features. But if you are having an event, let's say in your dining room, and you have a community share device nearby, you could go to the on-demand section of your community share device. You could access the music channel, and from there you could select a program that matches the theme of your event. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is how to use videos to build excitement. So we know that obviously you are somewhat limited on your outing locations just based on what is around you. So you can actually use videos to take residents anywhere in the world. Take them on a virtual field trip to some place related to what your event or your theme is going to be. Or even just show them a video from the past so they can kind of take a trip down memory lane. This is a great thing to do for your residents to get them super excited about your event. So you can add theme-related videos, like we said, to take them on a virtual field trip. And you can watch those videos on demand, or you can include those videos in your community share slideshow. So the choice is yours. If it's a short video clip, we would definitely encourage you to share it in your community share slideshow. If it is something that's a little bit longer, it would be a great idea to put that video on demand, gather your residents together before the event or during the event, and then you can play the video on demand for them to enjoy. You do have the ability to upload your own video as well as one from YouTube. So perhaps you have a video from last year's event. Maybe you're going to have a pool party and you had one last year as well, and you took a little video of your residents enjoying themselves and having a great time. You can upload the video clip into your slideshow or to your on-demand section so that residents can reminisce and remember what a great time they had, and that will also encourage them to come again this year. We're also going to talk a little bit about creating a picture slideshow. So this is another great idea for you. You can upload special pictures to your scrapbook channel, and you can do a couple of different things with this. You can either find some theme-related pictures, or you can use pictures from a previous event that was held on campus. You can add these pictures to your slideshow, just like we talked about with the video. So maybe they get a little sampling of the fun that is to come with your special event that's going on campus, or you can add them to an album, hide it from your slideshow so that it's accessible on demand only. And then maybe during that event, you just want to show a picture slideshow of those fun pictures. And you can even change your playlist, like we talked about a little earlier as well, to some music that relates to your theme, and they can watch the picture slideshow and listen to the related music as well. So let's go ahead and we are going to go into how to add some of that different content to your slideshow. So I'm going to hop on over here to our admin and log in. Now, if you are using an admin page that looks different than this, if you are on LifeShare 2.0, don't hesitate to let us know and we can go through that with you together as well. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to add an announcement. So when we log in, obviously we see our activities channel, but we're going to go down our options to the announcements tab. And I can go to the blue add button in the upper right-hand corner. And here's where I can get creative with those announcements. So I can include my special invitation here. I can do a did you know or a fun fact slide. So let's say we're going to do a fun fact. And I know here in Indiana, we are going into baseball season. The Indians are getting ready to have some games. So maybe you're going to do a baseball theme related event on your campus. So we're going to do a fun fact that says 14 players have hit 4 home runs in one game. Okay, so you can choose whatever fun fact you like. Typically when I'm looking for those things, I'll just use Google and ask to generate some fun facts about that theme. You can select your show starting and show until. So if you wanted to do a different fun fact every day, we could select that date for today. So it's going to begin showing today. And I would like it to go through the end of the day today, but I want it to stop showing tomorrow. So I'm going to put tomorrow's date there, and it will stop showing at 12:01 a.m. Then I can scroll down, and I'm just going to choose a background that I feel might fit my theme. And if you are not able to find a background that fits your theme, as long as we have a few days notice, reach out to us and we would love to help you create a background that's going to better suit your needs for whatever fun event you've got coming up on campus. So you can see I selected a couple of different backgrounds here. I can view those by clicking on the magnifying glass to see what that looks like. I can click anywhere to get off of that screen. If I decide I don't want that one, I simply click it again to deselect it, but I liked that one. So I'm going to save those two backgrounds. Scroll on down. I'm going to be sure to select the areas of campus that I want that information to display on, and then I'll click my Save button. Okay. Now when I look at my announcements, I'm going to see my fun fact showing up here on the screen. That's going to show up on my community share slideshow within 2 minutes. It will also show up on the LifeShare Family mobile app. Then we'll go into our therapeutic music. So you can do a couple of different things here. If there's a time of day where you do not have music previously scheduled, you could go in and you could add a new playlist. So as I'm looking at my campus, it looks like I've got quite a big gap here. I've got my afternoon music from 2 to 4 o'clock, but I don't have anything else again until 9 p.m. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to add a new playlist, and I'm going to just title it 4 to 6 p.m. We can select the days we want that to play. Maybe you want to change your music up every day leading up to your fun event. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to select my start time as 4 p.m. I do want to make sure that I don't have any overlapping playlists. If I had started that for 3 p.m., the system would get confused because it would have 2 playlists to play during the same time period. And when that happens, it just doesn't play anything. So you do want to make sure that you don't have overlapping times. I would like this playlist to play for 120 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and select my music. Let's say we're going to have kind of an afternoon time for our baseball activity. So I'm going to go into activity music. I think ice cream social music would be fun and upbeat. So I'm going to pick that. And then it's going to generate a few different genres. We're going to go with 50s hits for our baseball party or leading up to that event. And then I'm going to select my areas of campus. As you can see, the path that I just chose for the program is now showing, and I'm going to click Save. Okay. Now, if I wanted to go in, and let's say we're going to have a jazz program from 12 to 2, I can go in and I can simply edit this program by selecting my music choice. And I'm going to reselect music that's more oriented towards jazz. So I chose that supportive pathway first. We're going to click on the energy route. We're going to go to jazz, since it is going to be for our Jazz Fest. And we'll do Rat Pack music. Okay, so once I click Save, that is going to change that playlist on all of these days for that time period. So when I look at this playlist now, I'm going to see that it has now been changed to Rat Pack music to play from 12 to 2. Okay, so the last thing that we talked about was adding pictures related to your event and also our videos. So we're going to hop up to the scrapbook channel first. We'll start there. We're going to add a new album. We're going to call our album Baseball. This is going to be a community-wide event, so I'm going to select both areas of campus. If I leave my show starting date optional, it is going to begin showing immediately or the pictures will begin showing immediately in the picture slideshow. And I want this to show through the end of July. So I'm actually going to pick August 1st, and it will stop showing at 12:01 a.m. on August 1st. I do not want my picture album to be playable on guess what, so I'm going to leave that blank and click Save. And from here I can go up. I can add my pictures. So we're going to go to baseball pictures. I'm going to select all of those. And we're going to upload those into the system. Now, once those have been added, I have two different options. I'm actually going to go back to my album here. I can leave them as they are. So currently they are set to show in the community share slideshow, or I can click hide. So this is where we talked about if you've got pictures from last year's event, maybe you want to hide them from the slideshow, and you just want to be able to go in and access those pictures on demand during the time of the event. We do that simply by clicking this hide button. Now you may be wondering, where did that go? It is available on demand, which we'll show you in just a moment, but you can also go to include hidden content, and we will see our baseball album here. It's grayed out now, so that just indicates it is not actively showing in my slideshow, but it is accessible on demand. Videos are going to work in much the same way. I can click on my blue add button. Maybe you have a video from a previous event you'd like to upload, but in our case, we're going to do one from YouTube. This is going to be for our baseball event again. So we've got some 2018 Gold Glove highlights. Hop back over here. We're going to copy and paste that URL. If I leave my dates blank, it's going to start showing immediately and keep playing indefinitely. Now this is one I don't really want to show in my slideshow, so I am going to go ahead and click the hide button. And then again, it will only be accessible on demand. Okay, we're going to move on then to our next section. And this is just accessing on-demand features leading up to your event. So a great idea for an activity leading up to the event is to gather your residents together, browse through prior to the event, the on-demand podcast channel to see if there are any podcasts that are related to your theme. We do have many, many different categories on there. And if you need help kind of perusing those and seeing if there is something that matches your theme, don't hesitate to reach out to us at support@lifesharetech.com, and we can point you in the right direction. But this is a great way for you to gather residents together. You can listen to the podcast to build their background knowledge about something that's coming up, or simply just to enjoy listening to the selection together. So here we have a couple of examples of some jazz ones that you could listen if you were going to have a jazz themed event. There are many, many other themes and options available as well. We'll show you how to access that in just a moment. Another fun thing that you can do is look through our games and see if there are some related games to your theme. So one of our most popular ones is Name That Croon. So if there's a specific genre of music that is often associated with your theme or the special event coming up, then you can browse through the different genres offered here, and you can play the Name That Croon game. It's a super fun game to play. They get to listen to the song, then guess the artist or song name, and then they can listen to the rest of the song and enjoy singing along. Another option that we have is our Guess What game. We have a ton of different categories available for Guess What, so you are sure to find something in there that's going to meet your needs. So browse through those categories as well, and this is another fun way to gather your residents together leading up to the event or during the event, and they can guess what the pictures are. Okay, so we're going to do a quick review of how to access your on-demand features. So right now I have got the community share slideshow playing, but if I wanted to exit out of the community share slideshow, I would get my Life Share remote and I would hit the black LS button at the top of the remote. That's going to take me here to what is called our home screen. Now, if I wanted to get back to my slideshow, I'd simply use my black arrow to arrow over to the right, and then I would click OK to select starting my slideshow again. In order to access your podcasts, which we talked about first, we would arrow down to our podcasts channel. And from here, you're going to see a lot of different categories. There are some that are sports related. There are some that are already theme related on here for you as well. But there is a wide variety of things that you can choose from. Sunday at the Memories is a great one. It has a lot of different options. Once we find one that we want to listen to, we select it by clicking OK. It's going to download the entire podcast. When that play button comes up, we can select OK, and it's going to begin playing our podcast for our residents to listen to. Now, one thing you could do while they're listening to that podcast, because it is audio only, you could choose to go up to your pictures channel. Maybe you found a sports broadcast that had to do with baseball, and you could go into your baseball picture album. Now, granted, I only have 5 pictures in mine. You would probably have a lot more available. But as they're listening to the podcast, you could go in and they could start a slideshow, and they could be looking at the pictures related to that podcast or to that theme. We'll hop into that videos channel. If I click over and click OK, this is where all of those videos are going to be stored. So maybe you are having a pool party coming up. Take them on a little virtual field trip so that they can see all the great pools from around the world. If we click into that, it's going to give us the press OK to play bar. We press OK. It's going to take over the full screen. And then it's going to play our amazing swimming pools video. Okay, so this is a great thing to be able to do, to take them on those virtual field trips. Again, because you are a little bit limited by what's around you, this is a super way to be able to take your residents anywhere in the world. The last 2 things we talked about were music and games. Again, you can go in and you can select a program here. If you do want to change it from the pre-scheduled therapeutic music that you have already designated, you can click in, you can choose whatever route that you would like. Let's say we're going to set some music for a pool party, so we want kind of a Latin beat. I can start my program that way. All right, finally, you can access your games. If you were having a jazz event coming up, you could go in to name that croon. We could go down through our categories and find one that is jazz related. We'll do the Rat Pack. It's going to play the song, and then they can listen to it, guess the artist or the name of the song, and then just enjoy listening to the rest of the song together. I'm not sure about this one. If you have any guesses, throw them in the chat box.
A very strange enchanted boy. They say he wandered very
All right, I'm thinking Nat King Cole. Is that what you're thinking? That was correct. So once they've guessed it, they can enjoy listening to the rest of that song, or they can go on to the next song. And the other one that we were talking about is our Guess What game. So I'll go into that for just a moment so you can take a look. As we mentioned before, there are tons of different categories here. So if you were going to have a Hollywood movie star night, you could click into this first category. We typically recommend the casual mode. There's no spelling involved. They can take a look, guess which movie star that is. If they're not exactly sure, we can click next letter. You'll see the first letter of that person's name pop up. And I think we might be looking at James Dean here. Okay, so that's a great game to play as well. And again, if you're looking through these things and you think, you know, I don't really see exactly what I'm looking for, as long as you give us enough notice, we are always more than happy to work with you and develop some new categories and things like that for you. We're going to go ahead and share some quick resources for you. Our time is about up, so I am not going to click into them, but we will be sharing the PDF copy of this for you, and we'll also be posting the recorded webinar next week. But we do have a few different helpful resources for you that cover many of the things that we covered today during our webinar. So we really hope that this kind of opened your eyes up a little bit to some fun and creative ways that you can be utilizing Community Share to its fullest and using it to advertise and promote any type of themed or fun event that you have coming up specific to your community. If you have any final questions, I'm going to give you some time to go ahead and type those in the chat box for us. And Lauren and I are going to stay on for just a few minutes longer. But again, we want to thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. And we hope that you are able to join us in August for our next webinar, which is going to be how LifeShare can help with state requirements. So we know that is a big topic for you guys, and definitely something that takes up a lot of your time. So we are here to help you with that, and we're excited to share some ways of how we can help with you on August 13th at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If you have any other topics that you'd like to be featured during our monthly webinars, please go ahead and type those in the group chat box as well. And then I'm going to leave you with our contact information. So if you have any further questions that you would prefer to ask us in person rather than via chat, feel free to email us at support@lifesharetech.com, or you can call us at 317-825-0320 extension 1. And as always, be sure to follow us on social media, because we do offer a lot of tips and tricks and new information on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and even Instagram. So be sure to give us a follow if you don't already. Thank you again for your time. We're going to stay on for a few more minutes in case there are any final questions, but you are free to hop off, and we will look forward to seeing you on August 13th for our next webinar. Thanks again.